Hello everyone, today I am going to discuss some of the more numerical problem from the GATE examination. So let's discuss one by one. The first numerical problem is the ground condition at a site as shown in the figure. The water table at the site, which was initially at a depth of 5 meters below the ground level, got permanently lower to a depth of 15 meters below the ground level due to pumping of water over a few years. So the top layer is 20 meter depth and bottom layer of clay is 5 meter of depth. Okay. So assume the following data, that is unit weight of water that is given 10, unit weight of sand above the water table is 18, unit weight of sand and clay below the water table is 20, coefficient of volume change that is given 0.25 meter square per mega Newton. The first part that we have calculate what is the change in the effective stress in kilonewton per meter square at a mid depth of the clay layer due to the lowering of the water table. So at the mid depth of the clay layer, that is shown in the figure by red dotted line, and that is 2.5 meter below the bottom of the first layer, first soil deposit. Second part is asking about what is the compression, means what is the settlement of the clay layer in the due to the lowering of water table. So that we can calculate. So let's calculate the first part. And so for calculating the first part, let's take when the water table is 5 meters below the ground level, that is shown in the figure by red line. So when the water table is 5 meters below the ground level, so we can calculate the effective stress at the mid depth of the clay layer, and that we get 265 kilonewton per meter square. So we can add, see the sand is above the water table, that is height is 5 meter and unit weight of sand is 18 meter above the water table. So we can calculate 18 into 5 plus, now 15 meter of sand is below the water table and its unit weight is 20. So we have to take the submerged unit weight. So by deducting the submerged unit weight minus unit weight of water, we can calculate the submerged unit weight. So submerged unit weight and thickness is 15 meters. So we can write 20 minus 10 into 15 plus. So the next layer of clay height of clay layer is 2.5 meter into 10, means this is 20 minus 10, we got 10. So by adding all these values, we can get the 265 kilonewton per meter square. Similarly, we can calculate when the water table is 15 meter below the ground level, and that is shown in the figure by a blue line. So that we get 345 kilonewton per meter square. So we can take the change. We can calculate the change. What is the change? So see, in the beginning, at the initial condition, it was 265. Now the value is 345. So what is the increase? Increase is 80 kilonewton per meter square. So this change effective stress increased by 80 kilonewton per meter square. So let's calculate the second part, that we have calculated what is that settlement of the clay layer in the due to the lowering of the water table. Okay. So we can use this formula, that is delta is equal to mb into h naught into delta sigma dash. So delta h, we have the settlement, mb that is coefficient of volume change, h naught initial height of clay layer, means we are calculating in this question, we are calculating the settlement of the clay layers. Okay, so we will take the initial height of the clay layers. Okay, delta sigma dash, what are the change in the effective stress, that we have to take this delta sigma dash. Okay, so now we have all these value, so directly we can calculate the settlement. So we have the ME value, that is 0.25 meter square, and by per mega Newton, that's take care of these units, and you have to be make sure that in the formula that all units should be in same, like we are taking the meter square, then we will take in the form of meter cube or meter whatever, Like we can't take the meter square and mm or like this. So we have to just focus on this unit conversion. Okay, so MV we have this value 0.25. We have the H0 value, that is 5 meter, because the total thickness of the clay layer is 5 meter. We have the delta sigma dash 80. See, one thing you have to be remember here. In the first part, we have calculated the change in the effective stress at the middle depth of the or mid depth of the clay layer. Okay, suppose, and we are calculating the settlement for the clay layer, so we are using that change in the effective stress whatever we have calculated in the first part, so we are using in the second part, right? But suppose in this question, first part is asking about what are the change in the effective stress at the bottom of the clay layer, or what are the change in effective stress at the top of the clay layer, or in somewhere else except middle depth of the clay layer. So that value we can't take for settlement to calculate in the second part. Are you getting my point? Because for the calculation to find the settlement of a clay layer, we have to be calculate what are the change in the effective stress at the middle of this wall diffusion. Are you getting my point? And why we'll take the middle? We have already discussed in the previous lecture. So this thing you have to remember. So by applying all this value, putting all this value in this equation, we can get the settlement, and that we get 100 mm. So are you getting my point? Okay. So let's look at the second question. The second question is, a square footing is to be established in a clay soil at a depth of 2 meters, where water table has risen up to the ground level as shown in the figure. Assume the net load for the given footing is constant and that the same in the dispersed into clay as is shown, with the load dispersion as a 2 vertical and 1 horizontal. Means load dispersion is occurring, but that pattern is given 2 vertical and 1 horizontal, right? Okay. Take the value of unit weight of water, that is 10. Net load given 500 kilonewton. Compression index given 0.36. Initial void ratio is given 0.92, and saturated unit weight is given 19.3 kilonewton per meter. Okay. What is the width of the footing required if it is permitted to be shuttle by 120 mm? See, in the previous lecture also, or in the whatever I have discussed in the during the lecture, I have discussed the numerical problem. So in that numerical problem, we have seen that we have calculated that settlement. Okay. So now in this question, it's saying that settlement is given, and settlement is happening 120 mm. So settlement value is 120 mm. So for this settlement, we have to calculate what is the width of footing, and shape of footing is square footing. Okay. So let's calculate the settlement, and we will put the value of settlement, then we can get the unknown quantity. So let's discuss. So effective stress at the middle of the clay layer we can calculate, and that is shown by a dotted line. So middle of the clay layer we can calculate the effective stress, and the height is 4 meters below the ground level. So simply we can, because the water table is at the ground level, so this all clay layer in the submerged condition, so we have to take the submerged unit weight into the height. So the unit weight of saturated unit weight is 19.3, and unit weight of water, that is 10. So 19.3 minus 10 into 4, that is we got 37.2 kilonewton per meter square. Okay. So now increase in the effective stress due to the footing. So whatever the effective stress is getting increased due to the footing, so we will calculate the change in the effective stress due to footing. So this is the showing in the figure. This is the showing the dispersion area, how the load is getting dispersed. So at the top is width is B, at the bottom we have to calculate. So the height is vertical height or depth we can say 2 meter. Okay, so if the 2 vertical, then dispersion is 1 in horizontal. So vertical is 2 vertical, then ratio is 1 in horizontal. So here the vertical height is 2 meter, so the horizontal would be 1 meter obviously, and 1 meter from the left or 1 meter from the right, and the middle is the B. So we can write the total width of dispersive area, that is B plus 2, and dispersive area is also in the shape of a square. Are you getting my point? Whatever the shape of the footing, it would be the same shape of this dispersive area. Are you getting my point? Okay. So we can write delta sigma dash at the middle of the clay layer, or the middle of this middle of the clay, that is, see, in this question I am saying the middle of the clay layer, but I am calculating not at the middle. Are you getting my point? So what middle we will take? Suppose the whatever the depth in between the rock and bottom of the footing. So whatever the depth, suppose the depth is h. So we have to calculate the change in the effective stress at the h by 2 distance from the bottom of the footing. Don't be confused, like whatever the layer I'm talking about, what the layer means you have to take the half. No, you have to see where footing is, where is the footing is placed and where we are calculating. Okay, so in this case, the footing, the depth of the footing is 2 meter, and the rest clay layer is 4 meter below the bottom of the footing. Okay, so now, so we have calculated the whatever the clay layer is below the footing. So in between we have to take the middle. Okay, so we can calculate the v plus 2 whole square, and by using this relation we can take the delta sigma dash. So in this relation you can see we have the capital B, that is the width of the footing, that is unknown, but we know that we can write the settlement equation, and we have all these value, that we have delta S, that is given 120 mm, we have CC value, that is 0.36, we have H naught, that is initial height of the clay layer. See, here the height we have taken 4 meter, not 6 meter. Not 6 meter. Okay, because but here the clay layer, the total thickness of the clay is 6 meter, but we are taking the 4 meter. Are you getting a point? Why we are taking? Okay. We have the E naught value, that is 0.92. We have the sigma dash, initial effective stress at the middle of the clay layer. Again I am saying the middle of clay layer, don't be confused. Okay, so that is we have calculated 37.2 kilonewton per meter square. We have the delta sigma dash in the terms of B. So in this equation you can see only capital B is unknown. So by putting all these value in this equation of settlement, we can calculate the capital B, and we can calculate the width of footing, and that we get 3.5 meter. That we get 3.5 meter. So in the previous questions already we have calculated always that we have calculated the settlement, but in this question the settlement was given. In this question we have to find the width of the footing. Rest question are same. Okay, and here one thing more thing we should be focused on this. So I am talking about the middle of the clay layer, but I am taking the dotted line is not at the middle of the clay layer actually. Okay, so just be concentrated. Whatever the clay layer is left in between the bottom of the footing to the rock, so we have to take the middle in between them. Okay, or in between this. So we got this value, that width of the footing is 3.5 meter. So next, so now we have the third question. A square footing of a size 1.5 meter is located 1.5 meter below the surface of a uniform soil deposit of a density 20 kilonewton per meter cube. The void ratio of the soil is 0.8 and its completion index is 0.07. If the total thickness of the deposit, which is underlain by the rock strata, is 3.5 meter, compute the primary consolidation settlement of the footing where it carries a load of 2 to 5 kilonewton. Use trapezoidal stress distribution as a 2 vertical and 1 horizontal, and consider the first part 1 layer and the second is considered a 4 layer. Means the soil deposit is divided in 1 layer and the second part it is divided in 4 layers. Okay, and this question is asked in the GATE examination in 1992. So this is a figure. You can see that the clay layer or soil deposit layer thickness 2 meter below the bottom of the footing, and the depth of a footing is 1.5 meter. CC is given, initial void ratio is also given, unit weight of soil deposit is given 20 kilonewton per meter cube, and load applied on the footing is given 2 to 5 kilonewton. Load dispersion pattern is also given, that is 2 vertical and 1 horizontal. Okay, so let's discuss the first part. Considering only 1 layer, means these are all the soil deposit which is below the footing is considered the 1 layer. So first we'll calculate the effective stress at the middle of the soil deposit. At the middle of soil deposit means at the middle of soil deposit below the foundation, below the bottom of the foundation, okay, or below the bottom of the footing. So we can calculate, and this is the middle of the soil deposit is shown in the figure by a red dotted line, you can see, and their height is the 1 meter from the bottom of the footing. So we can calculate simply. So total height of this layer is from the ground surface or from the surface, that is 2.5 meter. So we can calculate the effective stress because there is no water table. Okay, so whatever the total stress will be equal to the effective stress when pore water pressure is 0. Right? Are you getting my point? Okay. So we can calculate the effective stress at the middle of the soil deposit. That is, we got 50 kilonewton per meter square. Okay. So this is the dispersion pattern which is shown in the figure, and the total width we can calculate, and that is 0.5 because the height is 1 meter. So 2 vertical and 1 horizontal. So here vertical is 1 meter, so horizontal would be 1.5 meter from the left or from the right, and total would be, we can calculate 0.5 plus 1.5 plus 0.5, and then we can get 2.5. We can calculate the change in the effective stress. So change in the effective stress we are getting due to the applied load on the footing, because of the footing only. Okay, so we got the change in the effective stress, right, and then we get 36 kilonewton per meter square. Are you clear? Okay. So then we can calculate the total settlement of the soil deposits. So we can go for the formula. We have this formula, and we have all these value. We have the CC value 0.07. We have H0 value, that the initial height of soil deposit, and here the thickness is 2 meter. Okay, so below the bottom of the footing, the thickness of soil deposit 2 meter. So we have the H0 is 2 meter. We have the initial void ratio, that is E0 0.8. We have the initial effective stress, that is 50. We have the change in the effective stress, that is 36. So we have all these values. We will put in this formula and we can get the result, and that we get 18.3 mm. Means in the first part, when we consider the initial or 1 layer of soil deposit, so in this case we get settlement is 18.3 mm. So now let's just discuss the second part. That is, in the second part we have to consider the 4 layers. Okay, so this is the figure we are considering in the second part, considering 4 layer. Okay, there, and all layers is separated by a red dotted line. Okay, so you can see this is the layer 1 and thickness 0.5, because total thickness is 2 meter. It will divide in the 4 parts, so each part will get the thickness of 0.5 meter. Second dotted line, the second layer, and the thickness is 0.5. Third layer also thickness is 0.5 meter. Fourth layer again thickness of 0.5 meter. Are you getting my point? Okay. So now the question is saying we have divided a single soil deposit in the 4 layers. Okay, and each layers of height is 0.5 meter. Right? So what we can do? We will calculate the settlement for each layers, and then we'll add it, and then we'll get the settlement for whole layers. Like, okay. So the effective stress at the middle of the layer 1 we can calculate. So now we are considering the layer 1, and we are calculating the settlement for the layer 1. So what we will do? We have to calculate the change in the effective stress at the middle of this layer 1. Don't be confused. Okay. Now we are calculating for settlement for layer 1. So we have to go for to calculate the change in the effective stress at the middle of the layer 1. Right? And middle of the layer shown in the dotted line by blue line, and that is height is 0.25 meter. 0.25 meter. So if the vertical is 0.25 meter, the horizontal would be 0.25 by 2 in the left and the right. So we can calculate the total blue dotted line from the surface is 1.5 plus 0.5 by 2. Right? We can calculate the initial effective stress, and then we get 35 kN per meter square. Right? Now we can go for the change. So change we can calculate. This is the dispersive pattern, and you can say this is the trapezoidal pattern. So vertical is 0.25 meter, then horizontal would be 0.25 by 2, and from the left and from the right, so extra will be 0.25 plus the width of the footing, and load is 225. So by using this formula we can get the 73.47 kN per meter square. So now we have the initial effective stress, we have the change, so we can go for the calculate the settlement. So we can calculate the settlement by using this formula, where CC value is we have, H naught value we have, all values we have, and by using this relation we can calculate, and that we get 9.55 mm. Similarly we can calculate for second layer. So let's go for it. Effective stress at the middle of the clay layer. So now we are calculating the settlement. We want to calculate the settlement for the second layer. So we have to calculate, first we have to calculate the initial stress at the middle of the clay layer, and change in the effective stress also in the middle of the clay layer 2. Okay, second clay layer. Okay, so that's the main thing you have to remember, and you have to be focused. Okay, so again go for the initial that is also middle of the clay layer 2 is shown by the blue dotted line, and that vertical height from the board footing is 0.75 meter. So we can calculate the initial effective stress, we can calculate the change in the effective stress, and this is the pattern for the second layer, dispersion pattern for the second layer. Okay, so by using this that all the width and height, we can calculate the change in the effective stress. So now we have the change in the effective stress, we have the initial effective for the layer 2, so we can calculate the settlement for the layer 2, and we can use this formula. By using this formula we can get this result, and that we have 5.8 mm. We have the formula for the all settlement. This formula is common for everywhere. Okay, so we can calculate. Now go for the third layer. Effective stress at the middle of the third layer. Similarly we will do the same thing. We will calculate the effective stress and changing the effective stress at the middle of the layer third. Okay, so now this is the showing the blue dotted line, and the height is 1.25 meter. Okay, so we can calculate the effective stress, that we get 50, change in the 55, change in the effective stress we get 29.75 kN per meter square. This is the showing this is the dispersion pattern for the third layer. Okay, so now we can calculate the total settlement by using this relation, so that we get 3.65 mm. Okay, similarly we can calculate for the fourth layer. So the same procedure we are doing. The vertical height from the bottom of the footing is 1.75 meter, and we can calculate the initial effective stress, that we get 65. We can calculate the change, and this is the showing the dispersion pattern for the fourth layer. Okay, and we can, using this relation, above relation, we can calculate the total settlement for the fourth layer, and that we get 2.39 mm. So the total settlement for, we can calculate by addition of settlement by each layer, means settlement by first layer, settlement by second layer, by settlement by third layer, fourth layer. So by summation of all the settlement for the all layers, we can calculate the total settlement, and then we get 21.39, and that is greater than 18.3 mm. Okay, so these are some reference that I have taken during the making the lecture and discussing the theory. So in the coming lecture, maybe I will give you on I will discuss some more numerical problem from the based on the ES examination. In this lecture also I want to discuss that engineering services examination questions, but I found some gate problem that was useful, and I feel that it should be discussed with you. So in coming lecture I will discuss the more numerical problem. Okay, thank you.